Hey, just me. Out here riding, just left from dropping my auntie Sand off. Take her back and forth to get her therapy and whatnot. Just trying to be of a help. Like my aunties and my sister, my mother, and then the women in my family have always been a help to me. And I was just talking to her and telling her about certain experiences that I was having. And while this was going on, I felt something pulling on me, and just something that wasn't right. And I just found myself hollering out in the spirit, hollering out, Bishop, this ain't right, what's going on. And then I seen a black cobra spirit in the spirit realm, like sitting inside of me, up over me, lift up off of me, and take and go to the Word of Faith Church. And I'm sitting up there like, what? Now, I'm not really understanding. I'm not going to lie. And I'm trying to understand this, because this happened while I was driving with my aunt, And I showed my aunt, I should have did this video while she was still in the car, so she can attest to it. But she seen how the spirit was twisting my face, all kinds of stuff. And I'm sitting up here and I'm thinking, about, how good God has been to a lot of men and women of God, but also what God has revealed to me through Ezekiel chapter 8 about the wickedness and the violence and stuff, that really all this started in the church, and it went from the church out into the world. So, I was thinking about how when I was little, how I always had this fear for men and women of God. And, now I know that it was right to have that kind of fear for two reasons. Because real men and women of God should be feared. Not should be feared, but should be respected. And then you have men and women of God is in the church, they like wolves. And, we should have the discernment that will cause us to know that something is wrong. So I had the discernment when I was a child that, it was good and evil in there, but I didn't understand it until now. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm having a hard time, a very, very hard time perceiving that a spirit that I know got to do with voodoo. Because I battled with this spirit many times before. The spirit was in my uncle before he took his life. The spirit was in my brother before he took his life. And I've seen the other spirits and seen the spirit in other people. And I was told that this was tied to voodoo. And this is back when I was fasting and praying like crazy. You know what I mean? So I'm really trying to figure this out. God, just because I seen it lift up off me and go there, I know not to jump the gun. I know it could be somebody in the midst of the church that's practicing that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, the head of a church can let people that's members be there and know that they're doing certain stuff and don't put a stop to it, then they blow up and they get out of hand. And it doesn't necessarily mean all the time that the man or the woman of God that's up over the church know about it. But I'm sitting up here and I'm thinking about these spirits that now that I'm seeing. Like, I went to another church around the block from me, the House of Praise and Worship. I seen a black bird-like spirit lift up off me. And then it went straight to the pastor of the church, or one of the pastors. I'm sitting up there like, what's going on? And the spirit just stayed there. So I'm trying to figure out why as I'm seeing all these dark spirits lift up off me and go to these churches. Black birds, black snakes. I'm just trying to understand it. I'm not jumping the gun and falsely accuse no one, but something that God is trying to reveal to me, and I'm not getting answers because I'm seeking and I'm asking. And I can honestly say from the bottom of my heart that I have nothing against either one of those churches. You know, do I participate and go to them? No. You know, I just said I didn't want to take and go back the way that I had went before unless I know that it's God that's sending me there. So, you know, churches that I participated in and went to before, I'm trying to just not avoid them, but just not trying to go backwards. I'm trying to go forward. So that's the reason why I haven't been back to any of them. You know, but it's real. Like right now, I'm talking to y'all. I'm starting to foam from within. You know, see my head just go all demonic stuff. And another thing I ain't been able to understand. You know what I mean? Like I said, I ain't got nothing but love. You know, for my Muslim brothers, my Moorish brothers. And I'm telling you, I've been fighting with them in the upper way. And I'm sitting up here saying to myself, Lord, what is it? What is you trying to reveal to me? Because I know I'm not perfect. You know, I know I'm not perfect. I'm too up from the floor up, you know what I mean? And you know, trying to take and do what's right. Because that day in the shower, he didn't have to save me. He didn't have to save me at all. But he did. He didn't have to save me all them times that was in shootouts or thought I was, you know, all this, that, and the other bag of shit. He didn't have to save me. He didn't have to save me when I was shot in the side of my head or got shot in the back of my neck, you know, after being in. He didn't have to save me. He didn't. He didn't have to stop death 5 times in one night. None of it. But he did. You know, so I'm just trying to understand, and you know, I don't have no way of really reaching out to these men and women of God. I thought about even going up to the church and trying to see if I could talk to the bishop, but I know sometimes when it's men and women of God like that, it be kind of out of reach. You know, even around the corner, you know, going around, and then I just said no. You know, I just make this video. And maybe somehow just get back to them, let them know that something is going on that's not right. Even this morning, I woke up sitting at the table trying to study. And I went to seeing a prophet down there in California. Now, I done seen this prophet more than 3 times in the spirit realm. You know, in the last month, you know, so it's just like, what's going on, Lord? Why is I'm seeing this prophet down in California and the other guy that he messed around with so much, you know, the Paz Jarvis and his son, Prophet Lovett. Why is I'm seeing them in the spirit realm? And I'm not just ripping off names or just saying stuff to be saying. I'm not that type of person. It's stuff that God didn't reveal to me, and I done sat on it for years and I haven't said anything about it. But why is all this? Why do all this keep on happening? And I'm praying and I'm not really getting no answers. And the stuff that's coming to me, you know, is pointing me right, keep on pointing me right back to Matthew chapter 24. Like this morning when I asked that, took me straight back to Matthew chapter 24, verse 12 and 11. You know, so I'm just trying to understand, you know, and I ain't gonna sit up and say I got people to talk to, because everybody that I think I can talk to, they don't really understand. And if they do understand, they so committed to what's going on in the church that they can't see the wrong that is in the church, the wrong that we are allowed to be in the church. You know, ain't nowhere in the world Black spirits is supposed to be following someone that love God like I do. Ain't no way I'm supposed to be fighting. You know, glory, when you talk about God's glory, I done seen God's glory set up on me many times and up on other people. And it's not dark like this. It's not. You know, it's of the devil. It's of Satan. And I be sitting up and just asking God, you know, why can't our people see that we need to come together? Can't our people see what's getting ready to come our way? Can't our people see that you want to pour out your spirit upon us and guide us back to you? Can't they see, Lord? Let them see, Lord. Touch. And I'm constantly talking to them like this and about things like this. You know, now I know I ain't praying and fasting, you know what I mean, and praising him in the way that I used to, but it's constantly on my heart. People constantly on my heart. You know, want to see better. Want to see better for others and for myself. I'm not just thinking about myself. Because I understand that that selfish spirit is the spirit that got us where we are right now. You know, got us where we are right now. You know, this got me messed up because it's happening more and more and more. And I can fight. I know it's a battle and it's a fight. But any time that you having to take a battle and fight with other men and women of God or other people in the church, because it might not even be there. It might be someone that want me to think ill and nasty about them that's in the church. Or it could be a witch that's trying to get me to take and submit to something wrong. Because, you know, some of these men and women of God, they got foot soldiers that'll go out and do the nasty work. I'm learning that too. Look at that. You know, and that's come from the spirit. And sometimes I take and I find myself full, then I just go empty. I've been trying to do this with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Super Bowl and the Revival. I've been trying to do this for over a month, y'all. I've been trying to finish doing this with the Cover by God, you know, ever since on the third thing, because I wanted to show how we wrong by trying to keep God in a box with the things that we do when he's speaking in so many different ways. I had it down to the way that I knew what was being said, and I wanted to take y'all outwardly, then take and bring y'all from inwardly. Like it says, let me just use it for example. It says in Revelation chapter 2:1, it speaks about a river of pure water flowing out of the throne of God, or from the throne of God, where Jesus and God is said. It said flowing from. That's outwardly. That's something that's coming from within, flowing out. If people just pay attention to that kind of language and that kind of word, it will let you know right then and there that there's no way you can keep him in a box. What's in him flows and it's massive. God created the universe, and the scientists that found out that the universe and the galaxies are expanding, they're growing. Who caused that to happen? God. So how can you keep God in a box saying that God do things this way and that way? And how is it that God has shown us decade, century, millennium after millennium that certain things is wrong and we still doing it? William Seymour did not lie about 100 years later. There would be an outpouring of God's Spirit or a big revival. He didn't lie about that. It's the things that we're doing and the way that we're going about. Same old thing. Let's hold a conference. Let's do 2020. God gave me a warning about these men and women of God doing the same things. He told me that this was the time for them to get their people ready in the church to get ready to take and go out so he can bring the masses back in. But same thing, conference. Ain't nothing wrong with holding a conference and a revival, but if you're holding it and then people going right back out the same way, something is wrong. Something is wrong. You was able to feel, I was able to feel, I don't know about nobody else, but I was able to feel stirring that was there with that was going on in Ashby. I heard homosexuals holding on. I don't agree with homosexuality. But it was something that was there that was good. I felt it. Any man, real man or woman of God that got discernment or really seeing the spirit or really know God's word, know that God is up to something real big right now. But also know that the word that God spoke about certain things happening, gonna happen. If you just pay attention to this one thing, and I'm finna get off of here. God said that in the last days he would pull out his spirit upon all flesh. Joel 2:28. God also said that in the last day these things will happen. In Matthew chapter 24. It would be great earthquakes in diverse places. False prophets would arise. The love of many would go wax cold. It would be like the days of Noah. All that's written in there. So God was saying all this was going to be happening at the same time. So what I've been saying ain't nothing new. God already said it. I'm just finding it in what I've been doing. And I've been trying to express and explain it. But I want to ask y'all this one question. Because some of these people that's taking and doing some of this stuff to me, and I ain't crying, because I done been there before, many times, battling, fighting the same battle. But I want to ask y'all one question. Why is I'm picking up on all these men and women of God in the spirit, and then after I'm picking up on these individuals, because I can keep on naming names. I can keep on saying stuff. But that ain't what's happening. Because it could be somebody even player hating on them. But when I asked God and I was shown what I was shown, I was like, okay, I'm not understanding this. This messed up, y'all. And what's so sad about it is so many people are lost. So many people are hurt. I went bowling the other night, and it was a beautiful thing to go to a bowling alley. Out of that whole bowling alley, I think I seen one or two European people, and it was beautiful to see them among us. But right there on Wood, we went to the bowling alley right there on Wood. I wish I could think of the name of it, but it's right there on Woodward between 7 and 8 Mile. And to see all them young African-American brothers and sisters and all them babies running around, and I just stood there. And I said, Lord, how do we reach you? What do we say to them? How do we reach them? What do we say to them? And then we end up getting switched from lane 33 down to lane 24 and down to lane 23 and 24. And lane 22 was open. And I was telling my cousin, I said, you might as well get that because we got a lot more people coming. There was like about 20, 25 to 30 of us there. So anyway, man, long story short, lane 22 was open, but he wouldn't listen to me get it. So anyway, the lane ended up getting taken. And I was warned before I got there that, basically was letting me know, watch out for the spirit of Sodom and Gomorrah. But anyway, few beautiful sisters come and got the lane next to us bowling. And they, they was like that. Walked in that spirit, you know what I mean? And instead of me just really having something near me to say to them that was positive, a word to get them, I ain't had no word. All I could see in seeing them was a spirit of mockery. And that was showing that something was wrong in me. Because I know that it was sinful for women to be together like that. But I still should have had something to where we keep on passing each other, something to be able to say to them that would take and make them, not a word to drop in them, but this, you know what I mean, be able to take and communicate with them and still let them know that God loves them, but he don't like the sin. But all I was able to do is to look and see mockery. Because that lane that they was in was the lane 22. Genesis 2 and 22, what is God doing? He laying a man down, taking his rib out and creating a woman and bringing a woman to him. So nothing but mockery spoke to me there. Because it's something that I'm reading and meditating on every day. Anyway, y'all, you know, fighting this battle is real. I'm going to say it out flat out. I have nothing against my brothers and sisters in the house of worship, praise and worship. I went there many times. I have enjoyed it. You know, last time I went there, what happened? Something was wrong. And I don't know why I keep on fighting with the same spirit. It's been a few years since I've been to Word of Faith Church. Last time I was there, I seen fire open up in the middle of the sanctuary. You know, what was really behind it, God never revealed to me. Today, I'm talking to my aunt, and the spirit ran after all this stuff going on. Face get to twisting and pulling, body get to shaking and all that. I see a black cobra spirit lift up off me in the spirit realm, and I see it go to the church. I don't understand it. I admire what God done did in that man. I admire what he done did around here in the block in the house of praise and worship. I don't know Prophet Lovey. Few times that I heard him speak, I said, okay, all I was hoping in the Lord, please don't let this brother turn out to be like the rest. I kind of like some of the things that he's saying. And then I seen him and Prophet Jarvis together and heard something about that as a spirit father. So that's when I said, okay, because I had only listened to a couple of small clips of Prophet Lovey. But some of the things that he was saying, I totally agree with. But when I seen him with Prophet Jarvis, I said, okay, whoa. Because God, I'm going to say it flat out, God revealed to me a few years ago that something was wrong there. And what I mean by that, the spirit of discernment was working in me to say there's something wrong. And I'm going to say it now. And while I was seeing in the spirit something that somebody might have been wanting me to see, I found myself talking in the spirit to somebody about what I was working on. And I automatically went to thinking about Jeremiah chapter 23, I think it's verse 28, 29, 30, about how God gave a word to one man of God and another man of God come and steal it and take it away. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me got the Bible right here. Get my glasses, go right to it so I misquote nothing wrong. I think it's Jeremiah 23. Because I've been fighting with a lot, and like I said, I could go on calling off more names, but don't want to do that. I just, you know, I think that it's strange that I find myself trying to do something but fighting with different men and women of God, different, and you know, some of these other bishops, big name bishops, you know. I know it might make them want to come out of me. I'm going to speak it. I ain't finna be walking the field. Now, here it go. Jeremiah, hold on, I'm trying. Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 28, we're going to start there. The prophet that has a dream, let him tell a dream. And he that has my word, let him to speak my word faithfully. What is the shadow to the wheat? Said the Lord. Is not my word like a fire, said the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? Therefore, behold, I am against the prophet, said the Lord, that steal my word, everyone from his neighbor. And, I'm sitting up here like, ain't no reason for me to be riding or moving around and speaking from within myself about what it is I'm working on that I know. And then to hear voices, we trying to help you. Trying to help me with what? I understand this part that I'm doing. And when I really need help on, I know he understands where I need to go. That's why I go back and Lord, hey, I need your help. And I'm not saying that he won't have another man or woman of God to take and guide me somewhere or to help me. I done had plenty of help in the spirit before. Sure, I wish Bishop P.A. Brooks was still here. No, many times he didn't help me. I wish I could pass the Adams. I could still get the help I used to get from him. I ain't crazy now. I know they was helping me. I ain't no fool. But some of the stuff that's going on, it ain't a God. I ain't crazy. And it ain't gonna be to the point where I'm gonna just keep on letting this happen and ain't gonna speak out. Some things going on in y'all churches that y'all need to get right. It's some people that don't like you, Prophet Lovey. I know that, okay? And it's something that's going on that's not right with you, Prophet Jarvis. But it ain't been revealed to me. But my discernment at that particular time told me that what's going on wasn't right. And I know better to speak out about a man of God, that God got his hands on him and God ain't revealed something to me. So I'm speaking about what he revealed to me then. And you know what's right and you know what's wrong. And I ain't trying to do this to get no bunch of views. No, I don't have no time for that, man. I don't have no time for that. I'm seeing people hurting and suffering. I'm hurting and suffering. A friend of my family that's been a friend of my family since he was 13 years old come over to our house last night, and I was so beat up and hurting yesterday that I couldn't think about nothing other than, hey, man, why you wait this late to call? Because I was tired. I wanted to go lay down, this ain't no lie. After he had left, I felt kind of bad, because I started to sense that he really just wanted to come over and talk. But I didn't have no energy, no nothing to do anything. And when I finally laid down on the bed, a black spirit that's shaped like a woman lifted up off me. And when the spirit lifted up on me, all my energy came back. The blurriness in my eyes went away. I was able to see better. And this is the same spirit that I took and laid hands on my aunt years ago, and the spirit lifted up off her. I know that's linked to that Santa Maria stuff, whatever you call that Mexican voodoo, and some African voodoo. I've been told it many times. Anyway, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I don't have nothing against you, Prophet Loving. And I don't know you, Prophet Jarvis. I know y'all know a lot of people, know a whole lot of things. I ain't trying to start no nonsense because I don't have no time for it. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this boldly. You know there's some things that God is not satisfied with. I ain't speaking to Prophet Lovely. I know that's your man. Come up under you. I'm speaking to you, Prophet Jarvis. Y'all know some of the stuff that's going on. It's not right. It's hurting people, man. Like right now, I'm hearing in the spirit, they're going to kill you. I'm going to speak this. We losing a lot of souls. God gave y'all that anointing and that blessing to guide people in the right way. The right way. Not the wrong way with this nonsense, man. I said it, and I mean it. If I done did anything wrong, I'm going to take the whooping that God going to give me. But if I'm right, he's going to back it up. It's a lot of nonsense, man, that's going on, and it needs to stop. A lot of this stuff ain't of God, and a lot of this stuff is being allowed to operate in the church. Why? When we know that it's wrong. We hurting people. People don't even want to come to the church. I went to another church a few weeks ago on the funeral. I left up out of that church completely drained. I'm talking about drained. I come home and went to sleep. I prayed a little bit because I wanted to go to the repast just to support my. I didn't have no energy. Completely drained. Church supposed to be somewhere where you can go to and get help. Men and women of God, they supposed to be God's sons and daughters, walking like Jesus, being a reflection of God. A lot of this stuff that's going on, it ain't right. You know, I know people, oh, he fake, he just play. I don't play. Hey, God know I done prayed for Prophet Lovey or saying to the Lord, I hope this brother don't go the way that the rest of them go. I like the way, he talking and all this, that, and I hope he stay focused, don't get caught up. And many a times, I used to follow Prophet Passing Java. And I'm not just speaking to speak, but y'all got people attention. Y'all got people listening to y'all. Y'all know the day and age we in. I'm going, but hey, y'all, I'm just telling y'all out here to wake up. All them souls I seen in the bowling, how many of them was really saved, or how many of them really know what's in them? How many of them understand 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7 about this treasure, this great treasure within? How many of them really understand? I know I was 42 years old before I started understanding. 42 years old. I was 42 years old that day that the curse got broke off on me in the shower. 42 years old. I'm gone. I didn't post this out of anger or out of bitterness or nothing of that. I posted it because it was time for this to be posted. These dark spirits ain't got no business being attached to men and women of God. None. At all, period.